Guys, I am so excited about this video because it's the last one in the Book of Puck series where Book talks about risk. Now, the Book of Puck was a book I came across years ago that helped me understand the handicaps that I unwillingly took upon myself when I was dating. And even though I was in a relationship at the time, it helped me to better understand women and better understand myself. So the following is the lesson that I learned from that book. The final chapter of the Book of Puck, he tells the story of a young man who walks into the casino and places his bets. In poker, when the player has the winning hand, but the pot is already on the table and it's larger than what you have in your stack, you have the option to go all in. And this is the case in our example. So the young man at the poker table says, "I'm all in." And the dealer looks at him and warns, "If you do that, you may lose everything. Are you willing to bet it all on your ability to play this hand?" And laughing, the young man replies, "The greatest risk that you can take in life is not taking a risk at all." In this life, the pot is always bigger than your stack. There will always be someone richer than you, smarter than you, more handsome than you, stronger than you, and have better game than you. So the pot is always against you. The odds are always going to be against you. The only way to win with women is to risk it all. The good news is that, unlike regular gambling, when you lose in life, you really haven't lost anything because what you gain when you lose is that experience. And that's something no one can take away from you. The lessons you learn, the skills you build, and the confidence that you develop will stay with you as you grow. There's this book by the late Scott Adams that is basically how to lose at everything in life and still win. I haven't read that book, but it sounds a lot like what I'm talking about. The point is that you can spend time learning about game, learning about women, improving your look, sharpening your skills, and you could become smarter, more attractive, more talented, and more persistent than you ever imagined. But if you never go out there and actually risk that rejection, you'll never win. And make no mistake, when you go out there, there is a real risk. You will lose sometimes, maybe a lot. The first woman you approach might tell you she has a boyfriend, and you won't know what to say. Another might say, "No thanks, I'm not interested." But that's part of the risk. You need to realize that this is the price of entry. If you keep showing up, keep working on yourself, and keep growing, you can't truly lose. Every rejection is going to make you sharper. Every failure is going to teach you something, or at least it should teach you something. And everyone in your life is going to try and define what your life should be about. Politicians, ideologies, your friends, your parents. As long as you stay exactly the same, everything's going to be fine. But the moment you break out of the mold, people will try to pull you back in. And this is because those people have never risked anything. This is something that people who do risk things, successful people, have done. They understand that in order to win, you got to put it all out there. You got to take these big risks. And that's in life and marriage and dating. And people that are successful, they don't leave anything on the table. They're all in. Think of it as a battlefield. The glory isn't in the outcome itself. It's in the fight. It's in the battle. It's in the practicing with the sword. It's with grappling. It's the glorious battle comes from the contest. And yes, dating is a contest. There are billions of women out in the world, but only a small number are truly going to be right for you. That means you have to go out there, take risk, and give it everything you've got in order to find the one that's right for you, or frankly, someone else will. Someone who was willing to work a little bit less hard than you, but they still showed up and they still took a risk. Now, I don't know if this is a generational thing or not, but with me, a lot of people get a brilliant idea. They get this surge of motivation. They watch YouTube or some sort of video and it fires them up and it says, "I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do all these great things." And it gives them that little dopamine hit as if they've already done something great. And so they kind of get caught up in this cycle of watching videos and saying, oh, I'm going to do something great. And they just kind of reiterate over time that they're going to do something great. But when it comes time to actually execute on those ideas, it takes time. It takes effort. And in the beginning especially, you're not going to see a lot of results. I've made videos that took me hours to create, and I only got like 4 views. 1 or 2 of those were probably mine. So if you don't keep going, you're going to look at that and think, well, I'm a failure. But what I've learned is every time I make a video, I gain something. I learn how to speak better, how to make better improvement, better thumbnails, better introductions and hooks. I learned that I don't need to make an hour-long video. I just need to make good videos. And there's always something to learn along the way. And dating is the same way. You might go on quite a few dates and realize this is not the type of woman for me. Maybe you're not finding great matches at the bar. I think what we've got here is too much heat in the kitchen. Guys, I am so excited about this video because it's the last one in our Book of Pooks series. This is where Pook talks about risk. The Book of Pook was a book I came across years ago that helped me understand the handicaps that I unwillingly shouldered upon myself when I was dating. And even though I was in a relationship at the time, it helped me understand women and myself better. In the final chapter of the Book of Pook, he tells a story of a young man who walks in a casino and places his bets. In poker, when the player has the winning hand, but the pot on the table is already larger than what you have in your stack, you have to go all in. And this is the case in our example. So the young man at the poker table says, I'm all in. The dealer looks at him and warns, if you do that, you may lose everything. Are you willing to bet all of that on your ability to play this hand? The greatest risk you can take in life is not taking a risk at all. In this life, the pot is always bigger than your stack. There will always be someone richer than you, smarter than you, more handsome than you, stronger than you, and with better game than you. The pot is always against you. The odds are always against you. The only way to win with women is to risk it all. So here's what I mean by that. The good news is that unlike real gambling, when you lose in life, you truly haven't lost anything. What you gain is experience, and that's something no one can take away from you. The lessons you learn, the skills you build, and the confidence you develop stay with you as you grow. You can spend time learning about game, learning about women, improving your looks and sharpening your skills. You could become smarter, more attractive, more talented, and more persistent than you ever imagined. But if you never actually go out there and risk that rejection, you're never going to win. And make no mistake, when you do go out there, there's a real risk. You are going to lose sometimes, and maybe a lot of times. The first woman you approach will probably tell you she has a boyfriend, and you won't know what to say. Another might say, no thanks, I'm not interested. And that's part of the risk. What you need to realize is that this is the price of entry. If you keep showing up, keep working on yourself, and keep growing, you can't truly lose. Every rejection makes you sharper, and every failure teaches you something, or at least it should. Everyone in your life will try and define your life, what your life should be about. Politicians, ideologies, your friends, your church, your parents. And everything's going to be okay as long as you stay exactly the same. Exactly the same, and everything's going to be fine. But the moment you break out of that mold, people are going to try and pull you back in. And this is because anyone who's ever risked anything in their life understands that you have to risk it all in order to win. And if they haven't, they don't. The point is, you won't know unless you go out there and see what's possible. I work in real estate, and there's a saying that maybe 80 to 90% of real estate agents never even make a single sale. It's because they understand how much work it takes to win. In my state of Florida alone, you're competing against nearly 1 million other realtors. So this is not people get into real estate because they hear you can make $20,000, $30,000 on a single deal. But what they don't tell you is that deal, sometimes you have to work an entire year just so that you can make $30,000 in one day. See, dating and marriage is not so different. Yes, the statistics around marriage is grim. Divorce rates are high, and women are walking away from marriage. And I understand all that. But despite that, in my opinion, I think marriage is still great and provides great things for men. While divorce is undeniably terribly, and we talk about that on this channel, few, if any, people are talking about the advantages of being married. Married men live longer. They're in better physical health, lower heart disease. They recover from injuries sooner. They have lower depression, and they're less lonely. They even make more money, which economists call the marriage premium. Married men also have both more sexual and non-sexual physical affection. As a man, you can go your entire life without being touched by another human being. In marriage, that changes when you have kids. That grows even more. You can snuggle or wrestle with them or just being present in their life. These are experiences you simply aren't going to get unless you're willing to take that risk. It's better for society too, by the way. Children that have fathers in their life have better outcomes than all the metrics on average. And I know marriage and fatherhood can be stressful at times, but fatherhood can also give you a strong purpose and structure for your life. But again, it's a risky proposition. I know divorce is a terrible thing. So the final thing I have to say about risk is this. If you just can't keep anything in reserve. You can't say, oh, I read one book, or I'll watch a few videos, I'll try a little. If nothing happens, I'll quit. And that's just not how life works. Whatever you want, you have to become a specialist at it. And if you've tried getting a job recently, you know this is true. Employers don't want someone who might learn a skill. They want someone who's already excellent at it. Modern women are extremely selective. Some would even say picky. They want a man who's attractive, confident, financially stable, funny, capable. So you need to be the best version of yourself to get those best outcomes. And you become those things by practice, learning, and then more practice. And you can't dabble either. That's like saying, I'm going to take care of my whole body, except I'm not going to brush my teeth. And then you show up on a date and you have bad breath, and then it's over. Just because you weren't all in. Everything has to be all in. So if you're not willing to go all in on dating and marriage, then don't date. Seriously, if you're not willing to learn what women find attractive, if you're not willing to dress well and understand your body type, get a good haircut, go to the gym, build your muscles, sharpen your mind, and understand leadership, then honestly, you're probably not ready. A woman doesn't want a man who says like, oh, honey, where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? What can I do for you? No, they want a man who knows what he wants with his life. She wants a man that already knows what he wants and he's moving towards it. She's along for the ride, and she can help you get where you're going. And it doesn't matter what feminism says. It doesn't matter what modern dating coaches claim. And it especially doesn't matter what women on TikTok say. You can ignore them entirely and completely. Women don't want a man who takes direction. Women want a man with direction in his life. Thanks, and I hope you'll subscribe for more content if you like this one, and give me a thumbs up. I sure appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.